Okay, so I'm playing some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Once again, you're watching some footage of 10v10 team deathmatch on the Euphrates Bridge map. So this match is kind of unique in the sense that my team, the coalition side, takes the bridge more or less at the beginning and we hold the bridge for the entire match. Later you'll see me mix it up in terms of tactics. Toward the end, I'm going to post up under the bridge and shoot over and through the barbed wire on the west side of the middle section. I've kind of mentioned it before in previous videos, but I haven't really shown it up until now. And it's a great spot and a pretty effective strategy. And I'm honestly really surprised that I don't see a lot of other players use it. I mean, it's pretty one-sided. You can only use it if the other team is on the west side, and the majority of the time you'd have to be on the coalition side. Like, the only time you could do it if you're on the allegiance side is if the spawns flip. So, I mean, I know some people don't like this map because it does kind of encourage, like, campers, especially, like, players who want to be hero snipers who just sit back at their spawn and try to win the match that way. But if everybody on the team does that, that just leaves you vulnerable to being dominated by the other team if they're able to control the bridge like my team is doing right now.
What's under the bridge?
So this footage is from 10 days ago, so I'm recording this commentary on June 10th, and Infinity Ward has confirmed that Season 4 will launch today at 10 p.m. Eastern, so for people in the Eastern time zone like me, it'll be launched at 1 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. And then also tomorrow, June 11th, that is the rescheduled day for the official PlayStation 5 event. It will start at 4 p.m. Eastern. So a couple of really noteworthy events if you're a gamer in general, especially if you're a PlayStation and COD fan like myself. And so, what else there to talk about? Oh yeah, so yesterday I caught a glimpse of a couple of YouTube videos that discussed how files for the next COD game have been found on the PlayStation Network infrastructure. Apparently, the files that are needed for developers and testers to test the networking issues or something of the game, they've been found. They're not publicly usable, but they're there, and that just kind of reinforces the consensus that the next COD game will be a reboot of the Black Ops series, and that its official name will be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So here in this match, I'm kind of mixing up my tactics. I've ventured into the other team's territory. I've gotten a handful of ambush kills before I get killed myself. And I think this map is worth showing while discussing a Cold War themed game, because it kind of is very representative of that whole era. Just how, like, both in terms of symbolism and in terms of, like, practicality, this map is very, like, distinct in how it segregates the two sides. So you've got the bridge being the separating point, and each side spawns on either side of the bridge. And I mean, if you think
in the bus too
of the Cold War era, which spans from the mid 40s up to including the late 80s, you've got, you know, the DMZ in Korea, the Berlin Wall in Germany, well, between East and West Germany. Those are very iconic places that
Shoot over the
emerged
barbed
during the
wire.
Cold War era, and I would not be surprised. I'm actually hoping that we'll see maps set in those locations in the next COD game. From what I can tell, I mean, I would imagine that the majority of the game will take place in Vietnam during the Vietnam conflict. I mean, obviously, if you got, we'll have jungle maps in which, yeah, the boundaries won't be so distinct, but mountaintops were a prominent part of that conflict in real life, so I would expect to see maybe a map in which each side has their own hilltop or set of hilltops. They're separated by, instead of like a man-made structure, it'll be like a valley, and then you can either shoot across the valley, or even, if you want to, fight down into the valley and then try to fight your way up to the other team's hills. And so I just caused one player to rage quit. Just because this spot is so effective, like nobody really expects it. Because snipers and whatnot, they're going to focus on players who are on top of the bridge, and they're not going to think to look under the bridge. You've got a clear view of the bus area and the southern part of the compound, and I long shot a sniper who obviously was not expecting me. And you can protect your flanks with claymores or proxy mines. And snipers who are inside the compound perimeter near the destroyed statue, they don't have a shot at you at all.
Under the bridge.
And just being under the bridge kind of reminds me of that Red Hot Chili Peppers song, Under the Bridge. And that's kind of a topic for another day, because it kind of reminds me of Rocksmith 2014, that kind of preceded the games as a service model. But in any case, I finished at the top of the scoreboard overall in this match.